went wild with excitement. The streets were filled with jubilant crowds, people of all ages coming together to celebrate a historic moment. The announcement of PNG securing a spot in the National Rugby League was met with an outpouring of joy and pride. It was a dream come true for a nation that lives and breathes rugby. The news spread like wildfire. They finally got a spot in the National Rugby League. Headlines across the country screamed the joyous news, and social media was abuzz with celebratory messages. For many, it felt like a long-awaited recognition of their passion and dedication to the sport. This was huge, not just for sports fans, but for the whole country. Families and communities came together, united by a common love for rugby. It was a moment that transcended sports, bringing together people from all walks of life. The sense of unity and national pride was palpable. It was a moment of pride, a big win for their love of rugby. Fans painted their faces in the national colors, waved flags and hugged each other in sheer joy. The celebrations were not just confined to the cities. Even in the remotest villages, people were rejoicing. It was a testament to how deeply rugby is ingrained in the national psyche. But Australia's decision to give PNG this spot meant more than just sports. It was a gesture that carried significant political and diplomatic weight. The handshake between Australian and PNG officials symbolized a new chapter in their relationship, one that could have far-reaching implications. It was a big deal in the complicated relationship between the two countries, a relationship shaped by history, politics, and China's growing influence. The historical ties between Australia and PNG are complex, marked by periods of cooperation and tension. This decision was seen as a strategic move to strengthen those ties in the face of new geopolitical challenges. For years, rugby league has been a way of life in PNG, from children playing in the streets to local matches that draw entire communities. Rugby is more than just a sport here. It's a way of life, a source of joy, and a means of bringing people together. It's more than a game. It's part of their culture, something that brings everyone together. Rugby is woven into the fabric of PNG society, celebrated in cultural festivals and community gatherings. It's a unifying force that transcends social and economic divides, bringing people together in a shared passion. The passion is incredible. Stadiums become a sea of color and chanting on game days. The energy is electric, with fans filling the stadiums to the brim, creating an atmosphere that is both exhilarating and intimidating for the opposition. The sight of a packed stadium, with fans waving flags and chanting in unison, is a testament to the country's love for rugby. But this love of rugby exists alongside a complicated history with Australia, their former ruler. The colonial past has left a lasting impact on the relationship between the two nations. While rugby has been a source of unity, the historical context adds layers of complexity to their interactions. Australia giving PNG an NRL spot isn't just about sports, it's a strategic move. The decision is part of a broader strategy to strengthen ties and counterbalance China's growing influence in the region. PNG's strategic location and resources make it a key player in regional geopolitics. PNG, with its important location and resources, is important to many countries, especially China. The nation's rich natural resources and strategic position have made it a focal point for international interest. This rugby league decision is a way for Australia to reaffirm its commitment to PNG and its people. This rugby league decision is a way for Australia to strengthen its ties with PNG and push back against China's growing presence. It's a move that goes beyond the realm of sports, reflecting the intricate dance of diplomacy and strategy in the Pacific region. The hope is that this will pave the way for a stronger, more collaborative future between the two nations. Australia and Papua New Guinea have a long and complicated history, one that is marked by both cooperation and conflict. The relationship between these two neighboring countries is deeply rooted in their shared past, which has seen periods of colonial rule, mutual support, and occasional tension. For many years, Papua New Guinea was ruled by Australia, a period that left a lasting impact on the nation's development and its people's perceptions. The colonial era brought about significant changes in PNG's social, economic, and political landscapes, shaping the country's future in profound ways. This past still affects their relationship today, with some resentment and mistrust on one side and a bit of a big brother attitude on the other. The legacy of colonialism is complex, and it continues to influence how both nations interact with each other on various fronts, from diplomacy to trade. Since Papua New Guinea gained independence in 1975, Australia has played a significant role in its development, providing substantial financial aid and support for various infrastructure projects. This assistance has been crucial in helping PNG build its economy and improve the quality of life for its citizens. However, not everyone views Australia's involvement positively. Some critics argue that Australia is primarily looking out for its own interests, often prioritizing its strategic and economic goals over the genuine needs of the Papua New Guinean people. This has led to debates and protests within PNG, highlighting the complexities of their bilateral relationship. The recent decision to grant Papua New Guinea a spot in the National Rugby League, NRL, has been met with mixed reactions. While many see it as a positive development that brings joy and pride to PNG's rugby fans, others are skeptical about Australia's true intentions behind this move. Some analysts suggest that this could be a form of sports diplomacy, where Australia uses rugby as a tool to exert influence over PNG's political and economic spheres. This perspective raises questions about the underlying motives and the potential long-term impacts on PNG's sovereignty. The timing of these developments is particularly noteworthy, as China has been increasing its presence and influence in the Pacific region. This has added another layer of complexity to the Australia-PNG relationship, with some viewing Australia's actions as a strategic response to counter China's growing footprint. The intertwined history between Australia and Papua New Guinea makes it challenging to discern whether Australia's actions are driven by genuine goodwill or strategic interests. As both nations navigate their future, the echoes of their shared past will undoubtedly continue to shape their complex and evolving relationship. Papua New Guinea is rich in natural resources. From minerals to farmland, it has huge potential, but this wealth has been both a blessing and a curse. In the past, powerful countries, including Australia, took advantage of PNG's resources, often hurting its people and environment. This still affects PNG today, as it tries to manage its resources responsibly and fairly. Australia has always been interested in PNG's resources. Australian mining companies operate in PNG, making billions of dollars. While these companies create jobs and pay taxes, there are worries about environmental damage, people being forced to move, and profits going back to Australia instead of benefiting PNG. Some believe the NRL license is just another way for Australia to keep its economic hold on PNG, using sports as a cover. A new player has entered the game, China. Over the past decade, China has been steadily increasing its presence and influence in the Pacific region, particularly in Papua New Guinea, or PNG. This strategic move is part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to enhance global trade routes and foster economic cooperation. With its huge economy and global projects, China has been making friends in the Pacific, including PNG. The Chinese government has invested billions of dollars in various infrastructure projects, from building roads and bridges to developing ports and airports. These projects are not just about construction, they symbolize a growing partnership between China and PNG. Chinese money has been flowing into PNG, funding roads, mines, and communication networks. This influx of capital has led to significant improvements in the country's infrastructure, making it easier for people to travel, communicate, and do business. The mining sector in particular has seen a boom, with Chinese companies investing heavily in PNG's rich mineral resources. Some in PNG welcome this, hoping it will make them less reliant on countries like Australia and boost their economy. They see China's involvement as a chance to diversify their economic partnerships and reduce their dependence on traditional allies. For many, the new roads and infrastructure mean better access to markets, healthcare, and education. But others are worried about China's growing influence, fearing PNG might become too dependent on China. Critics argue that the influx of Chinese money and influence could lead to a loss of sovereignty and control over their own resources. There are also concerns about the environmental impact of some of these projects and the long-term debt that PNG might incur. Australia is nervous about China's growing presence in PNG. As a longtime ally and neighbour, Australia has traditionally seen PNG as part of its sphere of influence. The increasing Chinese presence is viewed with suspicion and concern, as it could shift the balance of power in the region. The Pacific has always been seen as Australia's backyard, and they don't like other countries, especially China, getting too involved. Historically, Australia has played a significant role in the development and security of the Pacific Islands, and the growing Chinese influence is seen as a direct challenge to this role. The NRL license can be seen as a direct response to China. By promoting rugby league, a sport that is hugely popular in both Australia and PNG, Australia aims to strengthen cultural and social ties with PNG. This sports diplomacy is part of a broader strategy to counter China's influence. By building stronger ties through sports, Australia hopes to keep PNG close and counter China's influence. The idea is to foster goodwill and mutual understanding through shared interests and activities, making it harder for China to gain a dominant foothold. It's a bit of a power struggle in the Pacific, and the NRL is just one piece of the puzzle. The region is becoming a battleground for influence between major powers, each vying for strategic advantage. As China and Australia continue to compete for PNG's favor, the future of the Pacific remains uncertain and dynamic. In PNG, rugby league isn't just a sport, it's a national obsession, something that brings everyone together. The passion is amazing. Game days are a huge celebration. This love of rugby makes the NRL license even more special. It's a dream come true, a chance for PNG to show off its talent to the world. But not everyone is happy about Australia's decision. Some think it's a trick, a way to hide the complicated issues between the two countries. Others wonder if PNG is really ready to compete at this level. Despite these concerns, the NRL license offers hope and opportunity for PNG. It's a chance to bring the country together, inspire young athletes, and build a stronger relationship with Australia through a shared love of rugby. Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into some exciting news. Papua New Guinea is joining the big leagues of rugby, the NRL. This is huge, like winning the lottery huge. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some serious hurdles to jump too. So what's the big deal with this NRL license? Well, for PNG, it's a chance to shine on the world stage. Think of it as their Super Bowl moment, but, for rugby, it's a chance to grow their local talent, make the country proud, and bring everyone together. Plus, think of all the cool stuff that comes with international attention, more money coming in, better roads and buildings, and new jobs. This could really give PNG's economy a much-needed boost. And hey, it could even help smooth things over with Australia, which is always a good thing, right? But hold on, because here come the challenges. Playing at this level takes serious cash and planning, and PNG is still figuring that out. There's also the danger of things getting too commercial, losing that local PNG flavor that makes rugby so special. And get this, as PNG gets more famous, other big countries might start paying more attention, which could make things a bit complicated in the Pacific. It's like suddenly becoming the popular kid in school. Everyone wants to be your friend, but for different reasons. So, what's the bottom line? The NRL license is a fantastic opportunity for PNG, but it's also a tricky balancing act. They have to chase their rugby dreams while also thinking about what's best for the people and the country's future. The next few years will be a real test for PNG, and we'll be watching closely to see how it all plays out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.